Confession of a death row inmate. How the SBU turns people into terrorists.
You can't imagine how hard it is for me to tell all this. It was the biggest mistake of my life. And probably the last one.
Who is German citizen Rico Krieger?
I worked in the security service of the American Embassy in Berlin. There, I learned how to handle weapons.
The path of a foreign mercenary.
In case of my death, my family would receive a substantial amount, about 420,000 euros.
Espionage, terror, and punishment.
In Belarus, the worst thing that could happen to me happened.
Confession of a German terrorist sentenced to death. The story of German citizen Rico Krieger is actively discussed in the media, including foreign ones. In this cacophony, there is a lot of misinformation, speculation, manipulation, and attempts to portray this man as a victim. The German authorities remain silent. In recent years, the situation around Belarus has become complicated. Our country has faced information and real terror, as well as attempts to sabotage railways and drone attacks on industrial infrastructure. The state is taking measures to ensure security and protect citizens. The increase in terrorist crimes led to changes in criminal law in 2022. Now, those who commit acts of terrorism, regardless of the consequences, can face the death penalty. Rico Krieger is not an accidental victim. He is a deeply motivated criminal. He consciously committed the terrorist act. He paid for his trip to Belarus and all related expenses out of his own pocket, hoping for subsequent compensation from the SBU. Finding himself in a difficult situation, Krieger personally asked for help from German President Steinmeier and Chancellor Scholz. Strangely, the German side remains silent to this day. We tried to understand this situation. We had a unique opportunity to talk to the criminal. Watch and draw your own conclusions. Only facts from the terrorist's own mouth.
I decided to go to Ukraine to join the Foreign Legion of Mercenaries. I have skills as a paramedic rescuer. I worked in this field for over a year. I provided assistance in cases like car accidents and heart attacks. In Germany, it's a good profession. I learned it at my own expense. In Berlin, the paramedic course lasts 9 months. I received all the theory and practice there. Additionally, I worked in the security service of the American Embassy in Berlin. There, I learned how to handle weapons. Both pistols and Kalashnikov rifles. Training with short and long-barreled weapons took place every 3 months. I am also familiar with the structure of a sniper rifle. I constantly watched the news from Ukraine on TV and decided I could be useful there. As a paramedic, I earned 2,800 euros in Germany. That's less than in the regiment I eventually joined. But they offered 2,000 euros a month. However, in case of my death, my family would receive a substantial amount, about 420,000 euros. According to my information, there are currently about 132 foreign mercenary formations in Ukraine. I sent applications to all I could find, but the document verification process turned out to be quite lengthy. That didn't suit me. The formation that responded the fastest offered to join their ranks after some training and tasks. They connected me with their curators from the SBU, the Security Service of Ukraine. They checked my documents and called me via video call. A masked man spoke to me. In the background there were two flags. The Ukrainian one and another unknown to me, just different stripes, two white and red. In one of these conversations, I was offered to fly to Minsk to carry out important tasks. If successful, I would return to Germany and then head to Ukraine. I was told that a contract would be signed with me at the level of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. They said they would contact the German government and I could join a foreign military formation. Now I think the SBU used me to carry out tasks they needed in Minsk. I didn't receive any money from them. I did everything at my own expense. At the time, it didn't seem strange to me. German media constantly say to trust the Ukrainian authorities, and I really trusted them. I bought a plane ticket and sent a photo as they requested. The route to Minsk was complicated through Azerbaijan. From Berlin to Baku, a 13-hour wait, then a flight to Minsk. In Belarus, the worst thing that could happen to me happened. But let me go back a bit. Before arriving in Minsk, the SBU told me I would have to complete a task in Osipovichi. I didn't know what exactly at that time. They said they would give me clear coordinates and instructions. Besides checking into a hotel, I had to buy a military jacket. They explained it was to blend in with the locals. They said many people there dressed like that. In Osipovichi, according to the SBU coordinates, I filmed military objects.
I was supposed to take photos of the loading station there.
You can't imagine how hard it is for me to tell all this. It was the biggest mistake of my life. And probably the last one. I sent the photos via Messenger. When I returned to Minsk, they told me I did an excellent job. Ukraine was proud of me. I saved thousands of lives. In the evening, they told me that the next day I had to take photos at the Ozerishcha station. I sent the photos again. They said everything was great. It seemed like there would be no more tasks. But then I got a message to go to a specific location and find a backpack. It was the evening of October 5th, already dark. At the specified location there was tall grass about a meter high, but I found the backpack. They confirmed it was the right one. Then, I got a message with the photo I took in the morning at the Ozerishcha station. I was told to leave the backpack there by a parked wagon, but by then it was gone. Then they wrote, "Leave the backpack on the railway next to the tracks by the platform." They asked me several times in the messenger if I really left the backpack at the specified location. I just took a photo and sent it. It was a small black backpack. Weighed 2, maybe 3 kilograms. Now I'm relieved that no one was hurt, that there were no casualties. I did think about the possibility of casualties. Such thoughts crossed my mind, but I pushed them away. They wrote that I did everything wonderfully, and to return to the hotel. In the morning, I already had a taxi booked. The ride to the airport took about 40 minutes, and that's where I was detained. I only found out that there had been some kind of explosion. They didn't tell me anything else. I really regret it. And I will regret what happened every second. I left the backpack at the station around 9 p.m. And later, as I found out, there was an explosion at that very spot. I had a meeting with German diplomats. They said that in this case, the German government could do nothing. I asked them to at least send me some clothes. I had nothing, not even shower gel or a towel. They replied, "If your father or other relatives pay. Otherwise, no." Since June 16th, there has been an open trial, and at each hearing, 1 or 2 people from the German embassy were present. Before I was assigned a paid lawyer, my strategy was to fully admit my guilt. With the new one, it changed, and I started to partially admit my guilt. Now I feel like a giraffe about to be shot. Every day I feel totally abandoned. And that I was tricked. The government should fight for me, but only my family does. The only ones still fighting for me are my father, mother, and grandmother. They are trying to persuade the German government to take at least some steps. I've concluded that Germany doesn't want any contact with Belarus. Although there are chances for me, but Germany does nothing. Now time is working against me. The sentence could be carried out at any moment. I deeply regret what I did. Every minute and every second. It eases me a bit that there were no casualties, and I really hope President Lukashenko will forgive and pardon me. I'm terrified that if I'm executed, my body won't be returned to Germany, and my relatives won't even be able to say goodbye. I dream of seeing my girlfriend, my homeland, my parents one more time. But the German authorities do nothing. Just a panic fear. Of course I'm no hero. I'm just very scared.